Hello, my beautiful people. It's a really great day outside. It's really sunny, there's not much wind, and it's quite warm. And so I thought, what better way to spend it than to yap about one of my favourite bands in a room with the door closed and the window shut and the curtain drawn. And so I thought, why don't I be an amazing juvenile delinquent and record a YouTube video talking about one of my favourite bands of all time. You probably already know them, Cinderella. Not the girl with the shoes, I'm talking about the four guys who look like girls going on the album cover. I'm going to be talking about Night Songs today. One of the most amazing albums that I can listen to front to back multiple times on repeat and still be incredibly happy. There's not many bands that I would listen to just over and over and over again every single day. The only bands that I'd probably do that with, people like Van Halen or Dokken, and in this case, Cinderella. Because Cinderella, I'm going to say that name a lot today. If you've not heard of Cinderella, please go listen to Cinderella before watching this video so you can see how amazing they are. All the hype that I'll do in this video is 100% worth it because Cinderella, they're just that amazing. Like Night Songs, their first album, pretty much no skips on it. In fact, no skips on it at all. Their second album, Long Cold Winter, again, I don't think there's any skips on that album. Heartbreak Station, very much a different sound than the first one, but pretty much no skips on it. Their first three albums, which are the only ones that I've listened to like fully through, I must admit, just so awesome. Jeff LaBar and Tom Kiefer, they made an amazing band. And that band I'm going to talk about today. So enough of the yap. Let's get straight into this with Night Songs. Now, it's the early 80s. You're a guy called Tom Kiefer. You got super cool hair, amazing guitar abilities, and an absolutely freaking beautiful voice. It's like AC/DC, but better. I'm probably going to annoy a lot of people with that. Tom Kiefer, imagine that, but like really musical and like good. He's amazing. Meets up with a guy called Jeff LaBar. We love Jeff LaBar. And they say, oh bro, we make some cool music together. Let's like start a band. So they start a band called Cinderella because I assume that they got the name from the girl with the shoes, or well, the girl with one shoe. So LaBar and Kiefer, they say, all right, we got this cool band, we're writing really cool music, let's go to Philadelphia and let's record a sick album. And so 1985, 1986, they're in the studio in Philadelphia and they record Night Songs with their people. Now, they did release a few singles. They released Shake Me, which I don't think hit the charts, sadly, but they released Nobody's Fool. That hit top 20. Again, this is 1986. Think how much amazing music was coming out in 1986. They also released Somebody Save Me, which I think got top 13. Really cool. And in fact, not even a year after they released the album, the actual album itself became number 3 in US top charts. Number 3! And it went platinum, and then it went double platinum. And then 1991, it reached triple platinum. That's 3 million copies sold. 3 million. I can't even count to 3, let alone 3 million. Awesome band. And Nobody's Fool, amazing 80s power ballad that I'm going to talk about later, managed to get onto MTV. And on there, they managed to get loads of coverage. And guess who they begun opening up for? Begun opening up for? Bon Jovi's Slippery When Wet tour. Slippery When Wet, like the Let It Rock, the freaking Living on a Prayer. The Slippery When Wet tour was a massive thing because, you know, it's Bon Jovi. Slippery When Wet is like his greatest album, in my opinion, because it came out with so many bangers. And Cinderella got on that tour because Nobody's Fool was on MTV, and Bon Jovi saw them back in their club days. Now, Cinderella as a band, they went through a lot of like musical sound changes because they started off being the absolute glam, hair metal, rock, music, which Night Songs was. But then they started going more bluesy rock, then they started going more country. But today I'm going to be talking about what I think is probably one of the best albums of Cinderella. Now, if you can't even argue that. It is probably the best album of Cinderella. But we're not going to go into the bluesy rock or the country today because we're just going to be talking about Night Songs, which I think I said 100 times. Trust me, it's really awesome. Anyway, that's enough talking about the actual album itself. Let's talk about the songs. This video could be like 50 hours long if I want it to be. But I'm not going to put you all through that, so I'm going to try my best to keep it succinct and go through these awesome songs. Now, there are 10 songs on the albums. Now, when I listen to this, there are no skippable albums. It doesn't feel like any of the songs are just filler songs. They're so awesome. Teddy's in my room, so if you hear meowing, then That's not me, I promise. That sounded really suspicious. Anyways, let's talk about the first song, Night Songs. Night Songs, obviously the titular track of the album. Oh my god! Night Songs. Okay, it starts off really, really slow, like a ba-doom, ba-doom. It's the great thing about Cinderella is that it proves that you don't need to be really intricate and fast and technical to make songs that just slap. Even just having a ba-doom, slide guitar on a glam metal track. What? Even Teddy agrees. What a freaking opener! And the chorus, the night songs makes a day right. Just oh my! I'm gonna try my best not to try and sing these songs because that's gonna be an absolute torture on the ears. But nice songs. It's such a great way to open it because it sets you in the idea of like, oh, this is like a slow, like rockish kind of track. Yeah, I can like vibe to this. And then the second song comes up, Shake Me. Now, Shake Me, probably one of my absolute favorite songs on the record. Just the riff itself. I can't even call it a riff because it's just chords. The boom, 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 boom. So you get put into this like, oh yeah, night songs. Yeah, this is like, oh, I can like really tap my foot to this one. And then you get kicked in the face by Shake Me's ah, ah, ah. What? Oh, the way that they structured the songs in this album is just immaculate. I'm actually throwing out the word immaculate. Tom Kiefer, genius. If you're watching this, oh my god, you're amazing. I sent you a DM on Instagram asking to come to the UK. Bro, please, I'm begging you, please. If you guys know Tom Kiefer, get him to tour the UK, please. I'll pay for the entire. No, I've not got that kind of money. Anyways, Shake Me again. Really, really simple riff. In fact, it makes it so easy to learn the album because the riffs are just so simple, yet they kick you in the face so hard and so like, yeah, we're awesome. Deal with it. Like there are lots of bands who try and do that, but there are not many bands who can actually do it effectively. Like there are certain bands that like, yeah, they'll be like, yeah, we got this cool riff. Yeah, we're super cool. Yeah, kick you in the face. And you kind of think, twat, don't kick me in the face. Cinderella is one of those bands that they'll kick you in the face and you'll be like, thank you. That sounds so weird, but I think you get the idea. Now, we've just had like a nice relaxing song. Well, I say relaxing, a nice like slow, chill, like in the pocket song. And then we go to Shake Me, like, yeah, go jumping up in the air, mosh pit and all that stuff. I've never been in a mosh pit before, if you couldn't tell, I've got no bones on me. So we've been put into this like, oh, whoa, now we're like all rocked up, I'm pumped, I wanna punch a hole in my wall. And then you hear Nobody's Fool. Nobody's Fool, the power ballad. Boom, 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 boom. I can't run tears if I before my eyes. Just suddenly kicking you into a power ballad. And again, with a lot of albums, if this was the case, you'd probably go, oh, they didn't do that well because now you're making me like chill out, then you get me like all pumped up, then you're making me kind of like go back again. That's kind of confusing. But with Cinderella, it's just like they do it, and you're like, yeah, that's thank you, and just however they. It's hard to try and gather my words together because there's a lot of words that goes up in here, but then it doesn't come out well out here. Hopefully recording videos makes it a bit easier to shoot out my thoughts, but nobody wants to hear that. Anyways, Nobody's Fool, the 80s power ballad. In fact, one of the greatest 80s power ballads. Like there's not many. Like Slipping Away from Dokken in the Lock and Key album. I don't think many people know that song, but that for me is like really yummy. It's not like a power ballad, but it's a really great 80s rock ballad. And Cinderella falls into that same category. Like you really like it, you get put into the sense of security in the start with like the clean guitar, doing like A minor to D minor to A minor to G, and then you go to C, and then you go to D afterwards. Like you get put into this sense of security. And Tom, he uses his normal voice, what normal being like instead of a voice. Teddy didn't like me making that noise. Teddy's my cat, by the way. I don't know if I made that clear. He's not just a guy that meows at me. Nobody's fool. You get put into this sense of like, okay, so now we're happy. Now we're chilling out. Where it's like, yeah, dancing with my lady. Not that I've got a girlfriend, but but you're like, yeah, okay. This verse is like, I'm kind of chilling with it, and then it goes into the chorus, and you go boom, boom, and then it goes into the nobody's fool, nobody's fool. Oh, just that. You had Shake Me that came before this, so you're pumped up, and then you chill out for the verses of freaking Nobody's Fool, and then you get kicked straight back into the face with the chorus in the same song as the verses. Again, bands. It like if a band did this, like if I had like I don't know some sort of modern band that I don't listen to modern bands, but if they did that, then you probably think, oh well, that's a bit confusing. They could have done that better. But with Cinderella, it feels so thought out and so like, yeah, we're gonna be playing with your emotions, like, but in a good way, not in like a manipulative way. But it just works, and so it kicks in, and Nobody's fault. Like it's so hard to just not sing along because most of the time I'm like listening to these songs. I'm around people because like I'll be I don't know on the bus to college or I'll be in college around people, and oh, it's so hard to just not break out into like singing about pain. All of these songs, I could make it a dedicated video for every single one of these, but I'm not going to again because I want to save your ears. I've already been recording this for 26 minutes, and I had to cut a lot of stuff out. Anyways, but Nobody's Fool. You get put into that like push and pull of like, yeah, chilling out, and then wah, yeah. I think I've got autism, but I can't be sure. But anyways, next song. They went into Nothing for Nothing after this. Nothing for Nothing is probably one of the most rockiest tracks in this. Nothing for nothing, you feel it all the time. Nothing for nothing, and I want rah, rah, rah. So now we've had like that ending of Nobody's Fool where you're like, yeah, and then they amplified that like 100 times going to Nothing for Nothing. Bum 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 ba da ba da bum 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 ba da ba 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 da ba da da. When you see your face in the mirror. Sorry, that was a complete. But this is it's a basic guitar riff. It's a bit more complex than the others, but it just kicks you so hard, and it's oh my god, I'm getting pumped just talking about it. I get pumped talking about a lot of music I like. It's such a simple, like really just rocky feeling song. Not like Rocky Balboa, as in like rock-esque feeling. And it's just, it's so mellifluous and scrumdiddlyumptious. It's such a British thing to say. Nothing for Nothing. If I had to get someone to listen to one song from Cinderella to get the vibe of like what was going down, Nothing for Nothing would probably be one of the main songs I would think about with showing new people Cinderella, because it's such a rock song. Like when you think of rock, it can go down 100 different routes. You can get like freaking country rock, you can get rock and roll, you can get pop rock, synth rock, you can get metal rock, you can get glam rock, you can get all you can get so many different types. But for me, rock as the genre itself, as rock, Nothing for Nothing is one of those that it's rock. You can't say that it's anything else because it is just rock. How many times did I say rock in that sentence? A couple of times. Nothing for Nothing. It's just fun. And all the solos on this record, again, they're not complicated. Like I could probably learn them within a day, note for note. But they fit so well. Just like Tom Kiefer's voice. If you put Tom Kiefer in like a pop band, it wouldn't sound good. Just like if you put Don Dokken in a pop band, it's not going to sound good. But when you put Don Dokken or you put Tom Kiefer into a proper like band, it's so perfect. Just like AC/DC, I'm not a fan of AC/DC. I do not like AC/DC's music at all. But Brian Johnson and Bon Scott, their voices so well into the music. Cinderella, if Tom Kiefer had sung in his normal voice for all of their music, it wouldn't be the same. Well, obviously it wouldn't be the same, but it wouldn't feel the same because it's got that grit and that like ah. Following from this, what I think I might have described as a rock song, Nothing for Nothing, we got into Once Around the Ride. Now, Once Around the Ride, this was the first riff of Cinderella's that I ever learned on guitar. The oh my god, what a riff! This has got to be one of the best riffs of glam metal. I listen to glam metal all the time, so you know it's like a serious thing what I'm talking about. Like, oh my god, you just can't get better than that. Just the ascending chromatics. Like, when do you use that? When do you have that in any other kind of music? Oh my god. This Once Around the Ride. If I'm showing someone Cinderella, in fact, if I'm showing someone like glam metal as a whole, this is one of the songs that I will immediately think about. Like, oh my god, man. Oh my god, man. Oh my god. Once around the ride. I really wish I could do the Tom Kiefer voice. Once Around the Ride. And then the solo, again, it just fits so well into the song. And it's now the start of the album, it's like, it's got you in this sense of like, oh, okay, we're kind of chilling. Oh, now we're like energetic. Oh, now we're kind of relaxed. Oh, now we're energetic. And then Nothing for Nothing kicks you into the, whoa, now we're really energetic. And then this song is you're like, and you start freaking shaking and exploding like that one guy in that one movie. That was really vague. But oh my god, it just worked. It just worked so well, man. Again, if you're gonna listen to like only one song, for whatever reason, if you're just gonna listen to one song off the album, Once Around the Ride, I would strongly recommend. Nothing for Nothing, I would strongly recommend. One that I might not recommend as much, but I would still be very happy showing you like Cinderella as a whole, is Hell on Wheels. Hell on Wheels, I don't know what songs of Cinderella are popular because I listen to them to the albums. I never listen to like the greatest hits. Hell on Wheels doesn't feel like it's a popular one, but oh my god, the riff on this one. When I first learned it, I had no clue what I was trying to play, but you really get that feeling of like driving because this song is Hell on Wheels. It's about what I assume to be a car. You really get that feeling in the riff, and when you're getting the vocals in the chorus, the Hell on Wheels, like Hell on Wheels. I just get that feeling of like, whoa, we're driving forwards. And I know that sounds like I'm just saying that because it's about a car, but genuinely, when you listen to it, you feel like you're being pushed forwards. Because remember, the songs before this, they've all led up to build, to push you further, because that's what rock is about. It's about throwing you head first. But Hell on Wheels, not one of the best on the record. I'm gonna admit that. It's if I had to skip one, it would probably be this one. But I wouldn't skip it if I had the choice to. It's a really, really yummy song. I hate the fact that I'm saying it's worse on the record. But remember, everything on this album is great, but there is going to be a best and there's going to be a worse. And this just happens to be. It doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it's not as good as the rest. Just like second place isn't bad, but compared to first, it is. But anyway, I digress. This is a lot of yap. If we're leading on with this amazing rock driving feeling, Somebody Save Me, which was the third single that was released for this, oh my god, it's got the same vibes of like Nothing for Nothing, because it's just that rock, that you know, and it just feels right. And the riff to this, it's again, I say that I've said this in pretty much every song. The riff, it's really, really simple, but it works so well. And just all the music just kind of melts into each other, and it's just gooey, yummy goodness. This album, it's like having gooey in your crunch. Like there are some albums where you'll have crunch, but it's in gooey, so you're like. But then, if you're having something crunchy and you taste something gooey, you're like, oh, great. This album is the gooey in the crunch of glam metal. What a metaphor that was. You probably got no clue what I'm talking about. I don't know what these metaphors are. You're just gonna have to deal with like the metaphor Vaughan today. Anyways, the next song we're gonna go into a little bit different kind of rock. So we've had this like pushing forward, like yeah, kind of rock. But now we're gonna go into the more bluesy, more chill, that bam, 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 that kind of rock, like following from old school rock and roll kind of stuff, like Elvis, with In From the Outside. In from the outside. He doesn't like me making the voice. That's not going to stop me from making the voice though. In From the Outside, it's very, very bluesy. It follows pretty much 12 bar blues, and it just fits. I've got nothing bad to say about this song. It's just yummy. It's you listen to it and you just feel like, yeah, I'm vibing to this one. These aren't the moves I do on the dance floor. In From the Outside, it just works. It just works. I think I said that for every single one of these songs. But it's less like rock and more like rock and roll, bro. You can really tell Tom Keefer's early influences of like really old blues guitarists because you can feel that in the riffs that he makes. And In From the Outside is what I think it's the only song where you can actually properly feel that old school bluesy like inspiration. Where the others you can feel it's way more like rock side of rock and roll. I suppose this song is more than the roll side of rock and roll. But we're not hanging on this bluesy rock for too long because now we're going into a very, very, very much more of a rock song of Push Push. Now we're taking a slight detour from this bluesy rock, but we're not quite hitting back that glam metal kind of music. We're going to kind of like a middle ground. Push Push, it's a lot more like if you take the riff for it, down, 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 down. It's a lot more like rolling and a lot more like I don't know how to explain it. It's just like it's just kind of like when you play it, it just your hands just kind of flow into it. It's more flowy. I need a dictionary on me. And you listen to it. There's nothing like extraordinary about it. There's nothing like bad about it. It's just kind of like you're kind of in the groove. You're in the vibe. You're in the pocket, and you're enjoying your time there. And it just works. It just works. It's just a vibe. But why end with something that's just a chill vibe when you can end with an absolute right hook around the face? And the knuckles on that fist punching around the face is Back Home Again. Back home again. I genuinely hope that one day I will release an album that is even half as good as most of the songs on this record. Back Home Again, like it's so glam rock. Like you can think of like Poison to be glam rock and kind of like happy side of like at the drive-in, I got beautiful, and like the more like chill, like major kind of stuff. Back Home Again is an absolute sock in the face to all the bands that do all the major happy stuff. Again, the major happy stuff is really, really great, but the side of glam metal that's more minor and more like this song is so yummy. Just learn this song and then play it to a backing track, because oh my god, you feel like an invincible, awesome, incredible person. And Tom Kiefer is a really cool, invincible, awesome person. He gets that awesomeness from within and just lobs it and throws it at you in the face with all these incredible songs. Okay, my audio stopped recording and I didn't realize until about like 20 minutes after I stopped talking. It's just, the music is such a vibe, and Night Songs is such an incredible album that it makes you feel like you're invincible. It makes you feel like rock is everything. And it's one of the reasons why music in the 80s was so amazing, that it's probably one of the best things that came out of the 80s. And let's be real, the 80s decade was incredible. The culture, the fashion, the people, the food, the movies, the everything. The 80s came out with such amazing stuff. Music has to be at the top, simply because of albums like Night Song that make you feel like the world is at your oyster. At your oyster, whatever the saying is. It's just, you just can't beat music like this. Glam metal, bands like, I don't know, Poison and Dokken and Cinderella and Van Halen and Guns N' Roses, but I don't listen to them because I don't like them. Or Bon Jovi, again, a guy I don't listen to that much. Just the music, it's not just music. Like if someone said to me, oh, why do you like music so much? It's a little bit weird that you're obsessed with it, isn't it? And I'll go, yeah, I'm obsessed with it. But the thing I don't tell them that I can't really explain, because you guys are musicians, you're watching this channel, you probably play music. Music is not just about listening to sounds, but it's how those sounds transform you as a person. I would not be the person I am today if I didn't have music. Before I got obsessed with music, I was nothing. I still am pretty much nothing, but I'm more something than nothing, because music makes you feel like you are someone. It makes you feel like you're awesome, that you can go punching the world and hang out with David Lee Roth and listen to California Girls, and as in the David Lee Roth Beach Boys song, not the one that Katy Perry did, because music is just that great. And Night Songs is an incredible embodiment example what music is and what music should be, because getting that feeling from music like that and feeling like, yeah, ah, Night Songs gives you that feeling. And there are not many albums in the world that can do that. For me personally, it's Night Songs. For you, it might be freaking, I was going to name a Taylor Swift album, but I don't know any. But Night Songs, it's just yummy. So anyway, that's enough yapping from me. Go listen to Cinderella right now. You won't regret it. And I will see you beautiful people in the next video. So thank you for putting up with this absolute yap of a session. And I'll see you beautiful people in the next video. So bye-bye, enjoy your day, and go enjoy your day. So bye-bye. Cool transition. Well, I'm going to do the jump. Yeah! Bye. Ow.